What's up, schoolmates?
And here we are again for another episode kung saan ang kabataan ang bida at tiyak na may pakialam sa ating bayan.
Kaya naman samahan nyo kami dito lang sa
Schoolmates!
Oras na para magkaisa. Boses mo ay mahalaga. Kabataan tayo na. May pakialam ka. Sa tawag mo, buksan ang isip mo. Ihayag sa mundo ay may pakialam ka. Oras na para magkaisa. Boses mo ay mahalaga. Kabataan tayo na. May pakialam ka.
Schoolmates, ngayong taon nga ay Pilipinas ang may hawak ng chairship ng Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN with the theme Navigating Our Future Together.
Naging tampok ngayong taon ang mga nakalatag na programs and opportunities para sa ating mga kabataan, katuwang ang National Youth Commission. And we all know that these initiatives ay kinakailangan ng ating mga kabataan for them to be informed as one in ASEAN.
Yes, James, kaya wag na natin patagalin pa. Let's all welcome ang chairperson ng National Youth Commission, Yusek Jeff Ortega. Yes! Upang alamin ano nga ba ang mga programa ng ASEAN for our youth today. So welcome po sa Schoolmates.
Welcome sa Schoolmates, sir.
Yes.
Hi, James and Trisha.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice to meet you and it's good to be here sa Schoolmates. First time ko ito.
Yes.
And,
Too many more.
and ang dami kong gustong i-share sa inyo kasi talagang the National Youth Commission dati, kadalasan hindi sila pinapansin. Kasi syempre, alam mo naman, pag bata, especially sa gobyerno, kadalasan ang ginagawa nila is pinapakinggan lang and then itasasantabi. Pero ngayon sa administrasyon ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, sobrang nasa forefront kami. In fact, halos naghihingalo na nga yung office namin kasi sobrang dami ng work na ginagawa namin ngayon. And we're happy that we're here and we're active kasi tama naman sa panahon ngayon na 80% of our voters will be comprised of youth in 2028.
Yeah.
So
Right.
dapat nararapat lang na bigyan talaga natin at pagtuunan ng pansin yung boses ng kabataan. And being chairperson of the ASEAN chairship this year, sobrang dami mga programa na at oportunidad na pwedeng pagkakitaan ng ating mga kabataan dito sa Pilipinas na nasasama sila sa mga diskusyon ng mga regional activities, such as example, kung magkakaroon tayo ng activity on climate resilience, for instance, hindi pwedeng Pilipinas lang ang magbibigay ng statement nila. Lahat ng mga countries kabilang sa ASEAN, kailangan parehas din yung statement nila.
Right,
So,
right.
napakahirap, pero ang ganda ng challenge, lalo na ngayon na chair tayo ng ASEAN.
I love that. Sobrang, meron na tayong brief agad.
Yes.
What's in store for us. But let's take a step back, of course, no, Yusek Jeff. And na-mention mo nga kanina na, syempre yung mga kabataan, when it comes to National Youth Commission, they know it. They know it by name. But we also need to understand what is the mission and vision that you stand by for. And may nagbago ba from previous as National Youth Commission, di ba?
Well, the National Youth Commission was started to become the advocate and voice of the Filipino youth and government. So basically, kada batas na gagawin ng bansa na entails 15 to 30 years old, yan ang definition namin ng kabataan, kailangan dumaan yan sa concurrence ng National Youth Commission. Kasi kami bilang National Youth Commission, kailangan namin tanungin lahat ng kabataan, sang-ayon ba kayo sa batas na ipapasa dito, whether that's anti-terror law, whether that's, let's say, yung sexual reproductive health law, so all
Right.
these things that cover the youth, kailangan muna namin tanungin yung mga kabataan. There are times na may mga politiko sasabihin sa amin na, give your statement na to support a certain law. Pero ako kasi, ang stance ko is, kailangan kausapin mo muna yung kabataan.
Yeah.
Because if you want really to represent the voice of the Filipino youth, there has to be a system na kinakausap mo sila para yung sagot nila, yun ang ibibigay mo sa taas. Hindi kung ano yung sinabi sa'yo na sabihin mo. And what's nice about the commission now, yung 13th commission, yung tagline namin is inclusivity. When you see inclusivity, syempre, whether you're left-leaning, whether you're hardcore right, kailangan pakinggan namin lahat.
Correct.
I know there has been this issue about terror grooming, for instance, and at the end of the day, mahirap na sumang-ayon sa mga exploitation ng youth. But I have to go and understand and talk to them first because baka may pinanggagalingan naman yung
Right.
pag-aalsa nila, di ba? So, yun yung sinusubukan natin gawin sa
Yes.
commission ngayon na hindi ginagawa dati. And sa budget-wise naman, pagpasok natin sa National Youth Commission, yung budget talaga ng National Youth Commission nag-triple. In fact, ang daming mas gustong tumulong sa National Youth Commission na sobrang daming fund pa na pumunta sa amin. Pero yun nga yung both maganda and hindi maganda. Yung maganda na the National Youth Commission is now gaining ground para suportahan ng mga organisasyon, ng mga ating mga leaders, ng ating kabataan. Pero kasi ang liit lang ng National Youth Commission agency. We don't have regional offices. Meron kaming area office pero 2 tao lang. So kung may gusto talaga na i-roll out ang Pangulo, nahihirapan din kami kasi kami lang din nagde-decide. We don't have regional offices like other agencies. Kaya pinaglalaban namin kay Presidente na sana bago kami umalis, ang legacy project na gusto namin gawin is may mga regional offices na kami. Kasi only then can you really reach the youth. Pag
Correct,
nandun ka sa grassroots, hindi mo yan magagawa pag nasa Manila ka lang.
Correct.
So
Yes.
even until now, add ko lang na we have been putting our presence sa Mindanao in Visayas. Kaya sinasabi ko lagi sa ating mga kabataan sa Mindanao, hindi namin kayo papabayaan. And I know the saying na kadalasan laging nasa Manila. Ngayon talaga halos lahat ng mga activities namin, we're trying to put it in Mindanao. And in fact, last week nakipag-meeting din ako sa Commission on Muslim Filipinos. We're doing our first ever historical National Muslim Youth Summit next year in Mindanao. So, kung tatanungin mo kung ano yung pinagbago ngayon ng National Youth Commission kumpara sa dati, definitely mas aktibo kami ngayon, mas marami kaming pinapakinggan, inclusive kami kahit na kaliwa kanan, we really listen to all of them. At the end of the day, ang punto namin is nandito kami para i-representa ang kabataan sa upper levels ng gobyerno.
I love that. Kasi diba, inclusivity, and it's really in tune then with how Philippines right now is holding the chairship for ASEAN. Kasi yun yung gusto natin malaman at mapakinggan din sa mga kabataan, regardless of whichever culture or POV you might have.
Yes,
no?
and I also love that they expanded their horizon na nakuha na nila yung mga IPs natin.
Correct,
no?
correct.
And very inclusive na rin kasi especially sa mga youth natin na mga nasa Thrive. And sobrang ganda ng ano na yun, no, ng vision and mission na yun, no, na masama sila sa organization na ito.
Share ko lang sa iyo on that note. I met with the IP youth na gumagawa sila ng sarili nilang summit dito sa Metro Manila, wala silang pondo. And kahit maliit lang sila na grupo, 30 lang sila, pinuntahan ko talaga sila kasi I want to show them na kahit na, kasi ang isip nila sa sarili nila, pag IP sila, wala silang ambag, or
they don't
maliit sila,
belong.
maliit sila na tao.
Yeah.
So ang ginagawa ko is, I put my presence there, kahit maliit yung grupo, para malaman nila na their voice really matters.
Right.
So next year, ang kinumit nga namin is magkakaroon din kami ng IP Youth Summit. Pero titignan muna namin yung partnership namin sa
Correct.
NCIP,
Yes.
di ba? Kasi we don't want to overstep our mandate. But gusto ko lang i-share na sinagad na namin IP, Muslim youth, interfaith, sinama rin namin.
Correct.
And sa tema naman po ngayong taon, sir, no, about sa ASEAN Youth, can you please explain po para sa mga schoolmates natin na nanonood ngayon, kung ano nga ba yung importance nito sa kanila?
Well, yung navigating the future as one, no, is definitely a big deal now kasi alam niyo naman na ang daming gera na nangyayari ngayon na wala
Right.
sa control natin.
Yeah.
Naramdaman natin yung oil regulation, yung oil crisis.
Yes.
We didn't even do anything there,
Yes.
pero nagkagulo lang sa Middle East, apektado na tayong lahat. And that's because the Philippines is highly reliant on imports of fuel.
Correct.
And that's the problem because if reliant tayo sa abroad, kailangan ma-maximize natin yung relationship natin sa ibang bansa. And pag ikaw ay may bahay, syempre, ang mas maganda is kung kilala mo yung mga kapitbahay mo. And that you're working together. Because, let's say example, may problema, let's say nanggugulo sa street ninyo. Syempre, you have your neighbors to basically watch out for, or at the same time, umaasa ka rin sa kanila. Let's say nanakawan ka, syempre pupunta ka sa kabila, uy, nanakawan ako, tulong naman. So, it's a similar concept with ASEAN. And if you look at it, sa sobrang tagal na natin na kapitbahay, we actually have cultural relations with them. We even have cultural relations with China. Back in the day, makikita mo na ang Chinese traders, sila na nakikipag-trade sa ating mga Pilipino and Muslim. So that is why it's very important that we navigate this as one based dun sa ASEAN team natin. Kasi Kakagulo na tayo eh.
Yeah.
You know, and tayo mga bata, if we don't establish this communication with ASEAN, paano tayo makakapag-communicate pag tayo na yung leaders? You know, when I met with the ASEAN leaders, halos sa kanila lahat bata. And karamihan sa kanila, we share the same sentiments.
Correct.
But it had to take for us to meet in one place, in Indonesia or here in the Philippines, to explore na, ay, parehas pala tayo ng iniisip. We all think that we should do this together, otherwise we will fail. So that's the purpose of going with the theme. And medyo idealistic pakinggan na we have to be together. But to be honest with you, this war is not gonna stop if we
Yeah.
don't start to talk.
Actually, Yusek, yung isa ko na naisip is, parang ano ba ang tingin mong, parang we're talking about idealistic, right? How do you think is the ideal setup of the participation of youth when it comes to ASEAN? Kasi, to be completely honest with you, the participation in ASEAN seems to be very much exclusive only to those national youth leaders. Pero sa mga, sabihin na natin, mga pangkaraniwang mga kabataan, paano ba sila, or ano yung ideal scenario mo ng pakikiisa nila?
Well, to be honest, actually, medyo nagka-problema tayo sa, nagka-restrictions tayo sa pag-roll out ng events. We have the Memorandum Circular 114. This limits us to really operate on a virtual manner or hybrid manner yung ASEAN natin na activities. Pero sa beginning, nung hindi pa nagkaroon ng crisis, we already had the government, the Philippine government, at least on the side of the youth, no? Marami na kaming activities na lined up for the youth. In fact, one of the things we wanted to do was the ASEAN Youth parang it's like a festival. So it's like a music festival. Different people from ASEAN can join. Obviously, the Philippines is part of it.
Parang culture sharing.
Exactly.
Of sorts. Love
Oo.
that.
Meron actually event yung ASEAN-Korea parang friendship day or something like that. I attended that event.
Parang exchange program of some sort.
Para siyang
Na may
concept.
pagka-Coachella.
parang ganun. Meron
that.
silang Korean artists, may mga minix yung mga P-pop artists natin. So when I saw them perform, I was like, wow, all the performers in ASEAN can work together pala. And yung mga nanonood na mga normal na everyday kabataan dito sa Pilipinas, they were jamming to bands from different parts of the country. Kahit hindi nila naiintindihan yung sinasabi, they were jamming and they were jumping.
which we
So
love.
music really does get everybody together. And but yan, unfortunately, we had to switch to hybrid. So medyo mas limited yung participation ng kabataan.
Right.
One activity that we were very proud to kind of finish was the ASEAN Youth and Climate Action. So basically, ginawa po namin yun last year bago pa tayo naging chair with the assistance of the ASEAN Secretariat. Gumawa po kami ng statement from different different countries and including the Philippines. Marami tayong mga youth organizations nag-manifest ng statement nila as to why the youth needs to be part of the implementation of the climate awareness of ASEAN. So, I think just this year, ASEAN officially adopted yung ginawa namin ASEAN Declaration dito sa Pilipinas, which mandates all now ASEAN countries to tap the youth so that they will join in the efforts to mitigate climate change. You know, we outside of having that declaration, kailangan talaga yung mga kabataan natin on the ground, they have to be more aware about disaster preparedness.
Correct.
Lalo na tumatanda mga magulang natin, mga lolo-lola natin. We have to know paano kung binaha yung street natin, alam nga naman iwanan natin yung mga magulang natin, di ba? So there has to be a way for us to really strengthen our participation when it comes to disaster response.
Kumbaga, dapat may best practice sharing tayong ginagawa with our
Yes.
neighbors. And at the same time, it's great na parang yung best practice na yon was replicated from us in a scale sa ibang bansa. At yun nga, marami pa tayong tatalakayin at lahat ng yan ay sa pagbabalik lamang ng
Schoolmates.